Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, and this is some Vanderpump news for you. That's right. Vanderpump Rules has all the drama. Earlier today, we covered the recap from Season 10, Episode 10 of Vanderpump Rules. Did Tom grab Raquel's tush? That's the big question we're asking. But right now, we've got Howie responding to the horrible interview he did with Tom Sandoval, doubling down, commends Tom Sandoval's vulnerability. This coming after Andy Cohen ripped him for not doing his homework. And Howie's response was, I don't need to do my homework. And you know what? He's a wealthy comedian. That's right. He doesn't need to do his homework, but he's going to deal with the wrath for not following through with some of the questions that people have. All right, so let's get into it. We've got a lot to cover now. I'm going to cover what was said on Andy Cohen's show, Watch What Happens Live, and then we're going to cover what Vanity Fair is saying about the recap, and then we will get to Howie Mandel's response. Okay, a lot to get to here. So first, Demois posted this, which was shared by Blocked by Jax. If of interest, there were a bunch of requests made by Tom Sandoval to be taken out of the Howie interview. They pushed back on some, and that's what is blurred or bleeped out of the convo. Also, mustache was planned fully in advance. Of course, he shaved his mustache on air. New me, new look, you know, the thing you do. You know what I mean? Girls get bangs after a breakup. He's got to, gets rid of the mustache. Okay, so here was Lala Kent last night, the voice of reason in all of this, on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live.
Al, during the 7-month affair, was Raquel still acting like Ariana's best friend, or did she stay away from her during the whole affair?
You guys are going,
Yes.
You're going to die.
Right.
All right, we're going to die. We'll be deceased.
There's one conversation in
fire.
the finale episode.
Yes. Oh, boy.
She's
Yes.
sick.
All right, she's calling Raquel sick. That's right. Pump Rules star Lala Kent teases a shocking finale scene between Raquel and Ariana. And someone commented, how is Lala the moral compass in all of this? Lala was actually caught by TMZ at LAX heading for that interview. Here's what she had to say.
See you, Lala.
Thank you.
It feels like all we've been talking about is you guys lately. Hey, we just got photos of Tom and Raquel hanging out in December in his hometown in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So this crazy crossover, did it come as a shock to you and to everybody when all of this came out, or did it only come to as a shock to us?
I think it came as a shock to everybody else. I was suspecting it kind of for a long time, since the summer. Something felt off.
Right.
Everyone always says that in hindsight. Yo, I totally suspected things. Oh, did you? Did you say anything? No, don't get me wrong. As she explains, she was in the thick of it, so she probably didn't realize what wasn't normal. But on the outside, people look in and go, why are they, hanging out? Why is Raquel sleeping over? Why are they having sleepovers and all of this random stuff?
Hey. So was it a shock to Ariana, or do you think she kind of knew too?
No, she didn't know.
No idea?
No, she was devastated. Everyone was devastated.
Everyone's devastated, including Vanity Fair. They say Tom Sandoval isn't very good at this. Amidst a self-inflicted scandal, the Vanderpump Rules pariah did a disastrous Howie Mandel interview. But the qualities that made Sandoval reality TV gold are precisely what make him such a terrible podcast guest. His rejection of accountability, his inability to keep his mouth shut for longer than a few seconds. When first asked about what led to his infidelity, for instance, Sandoval blames his now ex-girlfriend. I love Ariana. I still love Ariana, and I care about her very much so. But we, for a while, have been sort of just having our own lives. Like many relationships, it felt like it became more of like best friends, family, sometimes roommates. There was a lot of ways where the relationship was just lacking intimacy, the connection. Now, to give him credit, he did take all the blame, but here's the problem when you do these interviews. Even if you take all the blame and then try to offer explanations, it comes off as excuses. He probably would have been better to just say, you know what, I shouldn't have done it. What he should have said was, regardless of the circumstance that led up to it, was, I should have broken up with her before crossing those boundaries. I should have realized that because I wanted to kiss somebody else, that I should have ended the relationship or whatever. Versus what actually happened was he makes out with Raquel or hooks up. I don't really know what that means the first time. And then he goes to therapy and this and that. But then it happens again. So clearly at that point, it's like, dude, rather than kicking the can down the street, why don't you, I hate to say man up, Why don't you human up and do the right thing and prevent this from going farther and, break up? And then Vanity Fair says, beyond Sandoval's tone-deaf musings on the affair, there are other bizarre chestnuts throughout the interview, such as his declaration that at his worst, he felt like Adam Sandler's character in Uncut Gems. At one point, Mandel's co-host and daughter, Jacqueline, the only person with half a clue about the backlash they would receive for providing Sandoval a platform, tells their guest, I think you'll be fine. If Michael Vick could go back to playing football, if Chris Brown can go back to, but before she can finish that amusing comparison, Mandel intervenes with a defense of Sandoval's actions. Yeah, look, I mean, it's hard to compare circumstances, but in this case, the reason why Michael Vick had a second chance and the reason why Chris Brown had a second chance, whether you agree with it or not, is because they were gigantic beasts within their industry. The reason why but will Sandoval get a second chance? It's like a second chance at what? I mean, he's still going to be on the TV show, right? So over time, he's going to have this Sandoval, and he's going to have to wear it on his sleeve. It's a part of his identity now. So here's what Howie had to say.
Getting killed for two things. They said that I didn't do homework. I don't need to do homework. I know who he is. I know what show he's on. And my question and my angle is, why do you think this is so big? When I commented on the fact that he cheated on his girlfriend and with her best friend, I still don't understand why that is big international news. Do I condone it? No. I've been married for 43 years. I have two daughters that are married. But
look, I agree with him that people should spend their time calling their congressmen about issues they want and this and that. I totally agree with him. Unfortunately, this is the type of parasocial outlet people have. They get invested in these shows. There's a real life element to it. They get offended, the audience that is, and they want justice. And they felt like the interview didn't calm that or I should say, I don't know, they felt like it was minimized. Like there wasn't, and this is why I think it would have been better for Howie or someone else who's really educated on the situation to really grill Sandoval to the extent that you kind of burn off all of that lingering doubt about what actually went down. You know what I mean? If you want your audience to go on that journey with you in the future, they need to know everything. And you hate to say it because it sounds entitled, but giving them an insight into your life, at least on the TV show, is what made them as fans in the first place. Now, people will say, Dave, you're completely contradicting yourself, but look, it's just, that's the fallout. He built his fame, following, and fortune from being a guy that the audience feels like they have been deceived.
I wanted to give him, a place where he could kind of spew his side. And number two, when he spewed his side and talked about how he is, the issues that are happening in his life, his depression, he was very open about his mental health and his vulnerability and saying that he thinks he made a mistake and screwed up. I kind of commend somebody being vulnerable and removing the stigma from, mental health. I'm just letting him say whatever he needs to say. I feel worried about him. I was in the room with him. He was visibly shaken, visibly damaged at this point. He's a human being, and I have empathy for every human being. I really do. He's going through a real tough time. Maybe he deserves to go through a tough time, but I really do feel for him. I feel for that Ariana. I feel for Raquel. I feel for anybody who is involved in this.
So look, I agree with Howie there that he feels for all of them. Absolutely. And I don't think we should bash Howie for how he conducted the interview, I just think any good PR crisis manager, which you would think Tom Sandoval would have a crisis manager at this point, crisis PR, but if he doesn't get one, geez. But, I feel, because maybe an interview with a female, might go farther because your audience is probably mainly female versus like maybe Howie Mandel doesn't quite get it here. But I really feel like Tom Sandoval could have spoken to his own mental issues without kind of explaining why he did what he did, because I think the audience could have put that together. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let me know what you think. And finally, our good pal, friend of the program here, Nick Vielle, commented on his thoughts on all of this.
I think that Ariana was crazy for how she handled the breakup. And I think that's just a really thing to do, because when you end a 9-year relationship, or you are your partner's friend behind their back, or both, and they find out in the heat of the moment, they might say some crazy shit they might say some insane shit because the pain has just like filled up their body, and they might feel in that moment like their life is going to end. And to take that moment of pain and then broadcast that out to the world as if she's the crazy one and you didn't know what to do, I think just confirms that, like, honestly, maybe you're just a piece of shit.
So I don't know if that timeline, I mean, I kind of agree with Nick here, but I don't know if that timeline exactly adds up, because I feel like Tom Sandoval was talking about his partner's mental health issues before they found out about the cheating, as in he went to search for other emotional ways to connect because he wasn't getting that with his partner Ariana. I could be wrong. It's still such a gray area. We're still learning a lot. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoy this content, Vanderpump Rules News, follow me on Instagram at DNeals. If you want to put some bread in the tip jar, you can join our private Patreon community. I share my stand-up comedy clips and a bunch of behind-the-scene live streams. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. And if you really want to support my new venture, join our daily podcast every afternoon, bachelorrushhour.com.